Now, I have to say, it's been an absolute deluge of gaming news which has just hit the internet in the past 48 hours. Much of it pretty surprising, at least to me, and some of it really absolutely no surprise to me at all, and to you, I'd imagine. News regarding current gen consoles and news regarding Sony and Microsoft's very different approach to the next generation, the next level of gaming. PlayStation 6 and Xbox Next, including pricing, strategy, and capability. Let me tell you, it's going to be a very different game plan next gen for Microsoft and Sony, and it could even split the industry right down the middle. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back. If you've just joined us, welcome to another Foxy Games UK news video. We've got a number of stories today, many of them from InsiderGaming.com and one from TweakTown.com. All links available in the video description. If you like this sort of thing, like, subscribe, and hit notification, all that good stuff. Our first news story then, PlayStation 5 has overtaken PlayStation 3 in lifetime sales in the United States. So PlayStation, the fifth model in Sony's uber successful series of consoles, has surpassed PlayStation 3's lifetime sales in the US, and this happened back in September 2025. So the PlayStation 5 has been a smash hit for Sony, with the console still accounting for a significant share of hardware sales. This is why the developers keep working on the console and its iterations, releasing slim versions and mid-gen upgrades for consoles. Thanks to their efforts, the console has now crossed PS3's sales record. So yeah, the PlayStation 5 now sits above PS3 and PS4 in US sales. This was spotted by Eurogamer.com. The new information about PlayStation 5 beating PS3 comes from a senior director at Sakana, Matt Piscatella. Now, Piscatella's recent post on Blue Sky reveals that based on US video game data through September 2025, the PlayStation 5 has now surpassed PlayStation 3 in lifetime install base. The analyst also revealed that the PS5 has been ahead of PS4 on a time-aligned basis in the US for a very long time, and as of September, it is ahead by 4.6%. Talking about sales, Matt Piscatella also shared some facts about Sony's PlayStation latest game releases. Ghosts of Yotei, Piscatella revealed that just 1 week in the market, the US sales performance of Ghosts of Yotei was basically flat to really that of Ghosts of Tsushima, but it did great. The analyst added that Ghosts of Tsushima launched in 2020 when the PS4's install base was significantly higher than that of PS5 today. Additionally, there was a lot of stuff happening at the time that significantly boosted gaming, need we remind you. So anyone with concern about this title should be looked at with a side eye, concluded Piscatella. But what are your thoughts on PS5 crossing PS3's lifetime sales in the US? Sound off in the comments. Sticking with InsiderGaming.com, it appears that Microsoft, at least the top brass at Microsoft, top dogs, they are really pressing. Microsoft wants Xbox to hit a whopping 30% profit margin, which is well above industry standards. So a new report has outlined that Microsoft wants to really bring Xbox to a higher profit margin, with the goal for the gaming division to hit a profit margin high of 30%, a number which is well above the industry standard. The target has resulted in Xbox cancelling several different projects, raising both its console and subscription service prices and cutting thousands of jobs just over the past 24 months. Now, according to Bloomberg's Jason Schreier and Dina Bass, Microsoft's chief financial officer, Amy Hood, has reportedly set a target to achieve 30% accountability margins across the company, and that, my friends, includes Xbox. Amy Hood is not playing, and I think people confuse her because she works at Xbox or Microsoft as a gamer. I'm pretty sure Amy Hood is strictly business. Margins, profits, margins. That's all she's interested in. Her, for the want of a better phrase, her butt is on the line also. So, she's also held accountable to the higher ups. Interestingly though, a lot of the bad news has been really delivered by the women of Microsoft, which I find bizarre. Phil Spencer, silent. He sends out Sarah Bond to give the news that nobody wants to hear. Then Amy Hood's name gets mentioned, but you don't hear much from Satya Nadella and Phil Spencer unless they're talking about how great Xbox is doing, how great revenue is doing. But for bad news, well, let's roll out the women. I don't know if that's strategic or not, thinking that women might get an easier time, but the internet has proven time and time again, women don't get an easier time. They get just as hard a time as the men. So I don't know if that strategy works, but as revealed in the report, the target of 30% is quite significantly higher than the industry standard for the video game industry, with past averages ranging between 17 and 22% according to S&P Global Market Intelligence. So back in 2023, Microsoft reported a mere 12% profit margin for its gaming division, with S&P Global Market Intelligence estimates really revealing that the industry on average has not gone past 22% for at least 8 or 9 years, or at least back to 2018. In July 2025, this new target by Microsoft saw the highly anticipated Perfect Dark by the Initiative cancelled, a project that was reportedly in development for around 7 years. Its cancellation saw the shutdown of the Initiative studio, Rare's Everwild. Yet another project that was in development for around 7 years was also cancelled around the same time. Wow, it's business, isn't it? It's strictly business. That's all Microsoft are on. You thought Microsoft loved gamers? Microsoft love money. Of course, all these corporations do, but at least Nintendo and Sony's heart and soul is in gaming. It's not just about profit revenue, or they wouldn't release half of the games that don't even sell. Amazingly, they do it for the breadth of the software, the content, because they know different people like different things. Now, in an internal memo obtained by Insider Gaming from Xbox CEO Phil Spencer, the cancellations were due to the focus on strategic growth areas, AI. In the last 2 years, Microsoft has seen several high-figure layoffs, with Xbox also being impacted. But what do you think of Xbox's new internal target of 30% profit margins? Do you think that's way too high? Do you think it can be achieved? Are they setting up the division for failure so they can usher even more quickly away from consoles and into where they really want to be, the PC space? Sound off in the comments. Now, moving on to our next news story, this one courtesy of tweaktown.com. Before I get into it though, I want you to remember the immortal words of Phil Spencer regarding PS5 Pro's price. Do you remember when Phil Spencer said, "We're not going to grow the market with $1,000 consoles"? Yes, keep that in mind. Now on to the next news story. PlayStation 6 is to cost half the price of the very premium next generation Xbox. The upcoming PlayStation 6 is rumored to cost half the price of Microsoft's next generation Xbox console, which is expected to have, you won't believe this, but a $1,200 price tag. The PlayStation 6 is rumored and expected in 2027, will be less powerful but significantly more affordable than Microsoft's next-gen Xbox, which could cost you around $1,200 due to the high silicon, memory and cooling expenses. Sony aims to offer a competitively priced console at approximately $600, $599. I think Sony can do it for less because they're heavily relying on AI, machine learning, and they don't have to go for high end. But yeah, I do believe that they can hit the 500 range, or even a stretch to 550. But even at 600, that's still going to be reasonable, considering what Microsoft are charging or rumored to be charging. So the PlayStation 6 is expected to release sometime in 2027. I personally doubt that. I'm thinking holiday 2028. I've always said that, but yeah, what do I know? Sony's upcoming console is reportedly less powerful than Microsoft's next generation Xbox. However, the performance difference comes with a significant price discrepancy. And not only that, developers are always working to deadlines and budgets, and they rarely make use of one console over the other. You might get a little bit of a higher resolution, a more steadier performance, but they don't take advantage of all the, extra 2 T-flops of power, 5 T. They don't do that. Most of the games are parity, right? Parity. You only get to see the real hardware's guts, power, and capabilities when you're dealing with exclusive game content. And Microsoft is not about exclusives anymore, and we're going to explain why after. But we already got a hint from Microsoft that it's planning on making the Xbox, really next gen Xbox, a very premium, even boutique gaming console strictly for the high-end enthusiasts, with Xbox head Sarah Bond recently stating in an interview with Mashable that the next-gen console will be a, and I quote, very premium and high-end curated experience, end of quote. Gamers are already seeing how Xbox is approaching the next-gen console, as evidenced by the company's approach to creating the ROG Xbox Ally, the highest-end one, costing $1,000. Thank you, Phil Spencer. Notably, the ROG Ally Xbox, Ally X or whatever, is the most expensive Xbox branded device ever released, with a price tag, as I say, $1,000, but they conveniently blame Asus, the manufacturer, for that, because 1 minute it's an Xbox, but when we're talking about price, no, it's not an Xbox, it's Asus. There you have it. If the console is a representative of what future Xbox branded devices will be, we could see the next gen Xbox be more than $1,000, possibly even approaching $1,500, which is a mid-range PC pricing today. Now, well-known anonymous hardware leaker and insider Kepler L2, who gained notoriety in the gaming and semiconductor community for posting rumors and leaks about upcoming gaming-related hardware, has commented on the price of Xbox's next-gen console, and how it really compares to the PlayStation 6. Now, we have really covered this, but, he did say that the next-gen Xbox will have approximately 42% more silicone than PlayStation 6, 20% more memory, and higher board cooling costs, which all translate to, well, a very expensive, pricey console, which could set you back $1,200 for Xbox's offering, and Sony's PlayStation 6 is likely to cost $600 or less. That would make the PlayStation 6 half the cost of the next-gen Xbox. And if the ROG Xbox Ally X is an example of the direction Xbox is headed in terms of really pricing, it wouldn't even be that surprising if the $1,200 guess is accurate. My. Johnny Gill. Those prices are just insane. Would you be prepared to pay $1,200, $1,500, even $1,000 for a next-gen console, which is largely going to be, situated in the PC space? I mean, you could do that now. If you're going to waste that type of money, jump in early. I mean, $2,000 can get you a reasonably priced PC. It's going to last you longer, and it's more upgradable than buying Xbox is offering. Why would you wait? Literally, if all you're getting is a PC in a box. Who knows? Maybe you do. But before we round this off, it was Sarah Bond who, in addition to, putting out the terrible news that the consoles are going to be expensive, Sarah Bond also said that exclusives are antiquated and nobody cares about them no more. Nobody wants a closed platform. People want all their games everywhere. This is Sarah Bond. So you can see where they're going. There'll be no incentive to buy the next Xbox because there won't be an exclusive game taking any advantage of the hardware. All you're going to get is you know, slightly boosted versions of PlayStation 6 games. If PlayStation 6 would dip to 55 frames, I'm pretty sure that the Xbox will just hit the full 60. But do you want to pay double for an extra 5 to 10 frames per second? Which is usually down to optimization, but do you really want to do that? And then you might rush out and buy this thing thinking, I'm going to get better performance, and then a patch comes out, and then it's neck and neck again. PlayStation 6 are running with absolute parity to the Xbox, and you just pay double bubble, Barney Rubble. But anyway, that's the end of today's video. If you like this sort of thing, like, subscribe, hit notification. It's quite a pretty long video because it's a 2-in-1. I didn't do a video on Wednesday, which is why this video is a bit elongated. But yeah, sound off in the comments what you think about all today's news stories. Enjoy your weekend, and until next time, play games, not corporations.